Hello, what's up, guys? So today we're gonna talk about population strategies. So this is our program code that we're gonna talk about. This is my project. So let's go top the potential of the population with me. So let's go ahead. Here we go. Yeah. So let's get to the intro. Ecology. It is the interrelationship between organism and environment. It is the interaction between them. So there are abiotic and components like temperature. So there are poikilothermal animals which can't adjust to temperature, but there are also homeothermal organisms that in whatever is the external environment temperature, still they can maintain the temperature, adjusting with the temperature. There is also light, which is a abiotic component, and there is also wind. Wind is also abiotic component. It controls whether transpiration, pollination, and dissemination of propagules like seeds. Propagules means seeds and all that stuff. That's the wind. Light provides solar energy, which is used by producers or the plants or the autotrophs that make their own food, which we people eat. So there is also humidity, the amount of water vapor present in the environment. Humidity controls formation of clouds, dew, fog, etc. Epiphytes are such plants that grow in the humid and wet areas. Right, and also evaporation helps the animals to cool them off by transpiration in plants and sweating in animals. And there is also precipitation, which is rainfall, snow, dew, or hail. They are the different states of it. Snow is a little spongy like ice, which is not much tightly packed, but hail is a stone-like snowy stuff, ice state of water, solid state of water, and rain is the water, rainfall rate. It gives us water and greenery and forests, like giving water to plants, right? So precipitation gives us water. So water is needed for even plants, animals. Obviously, there are zero fights, so you can adjust with it without water, but other plants can do. But hydrophytes necessarily need water because they grow in it. So there are some submerged and some floating hydrophytes too. There are aeroncoma, like in lotus flower, which have aeroncoma, so it can float above the water level. There is background, like because background helps in camouflage of different biomes. In different biomes, there are different color backgrounds, which can be used for camouflage to avoid threat by animals, by preys. Why? And there is topography, and camouflage means hiding in the environment, using the environment, getting unnoticed by predators, right? So topography is the surface behavior of Earth, like when it gets folds, it gives us mountain, so altitude, slope, exposure, and all that stuff, because it decides how much slope it would be, how much wind would be flowing, because mountains stop the wind and reach the wind more. So how much rainfall will be, because clouds are stopped by mountains to make rainfalls. That's why mountain in both its sides there are just opposite scenarios of rainfall. One is totally dry, one is totally wet, like there. And also it decides light intensity, temperature, and all this stuff, because obviously how much altitude it is more closer to sun, sort of means more light intensity will fall there, right? So there is also pH, hydrogen concentration, which is necessary for some plants, some functions of enzymes, but If it is too high or too low, it can be destructive for organisms, gases. Like nitrogen gives us protein from plants, and there are also oxygen which we breathe, carbon dioxide which plants need, but also they need oxygen too, and all this stuff. And soil determines the growth of plants that we are gonna eat and survive. So plants are the most important thing. So for them, soil nutrition is needed, and also to grab hold of them, the plants, and also getting water is done through soil. So yeah, that is needed. And also mineral elements. Mineral elements are really useful for us in nutrition purposes, in making tools and all this stuff. Okay, so there are also ecosystem structure has trophic structure. Trophic structure is levels in the food chain. Food chain is the chain that keeps the population in check by a chain or layers of predators, prey who eat each other and keep the population in balance. There is stratification, there's standing crop, standing state, and a species composition. Okay, let's go. So the autotroph plant I was talking about, their productivity is affected by solar radiation. If it is less or more, then photosynthesis would not take place because it uses sun and sun energy. Temperature also reduces productivity because enzymes would get slower in plants, and many of the animals in many metabolism, enzymes get slower in cold, and damaged denature in heat. So heat should be in control to for full productivity. Moisture, because water is needed in photosynthesis, so it is also needed. Nutrients in the soil, because that only will make the protein, carbohydrate, and all that stuff. And also for synthetic efficiency producers, there are two pathways, C4 and C3, right? Citric acid cycle, Krebs cycle, the TCA cycle, all that stuff. The pathway that is more efficient will make the give the better outcome, right? There are also trophic levels, which I told, and there is a detritus food chain where detritus, the decomposers, which are saprophytes, eat the scavengers. Scavengers eat the tertiary consumers, which are mostly carnivores. They eat secondary consumers, which are sort of yeah, they are omnivores mostly, but maybe carnivore. And the secondary consumers eat primary consumers, which are herbivores, which are totally dependent on plants for their food habits, for their feeding. And then comes the primary producers, or our favorite autotroph plants, which make their own food. Okay, so a group of food chain makes food web, and there is energy flow in them. Raw energy flow is like and it only gives 10% energy to the next trophic level, right? And biomagnification says the chemical present in one is multiplied to 10 when reaching the above trophic levels, right? There are also biotic succession, which means that a generation of organisms make a place suitable for a next generation of organisms. Those make so it's more suitable for next level of organisms, like that. So there is something on Earth that happens on the lithosphere or the land, and also one in hydrosphere or waha, which is land one is called lithosphere or xerosphere, and water is called hydrosphere. Right. So, in lithosphere, first is lichen stage. Lichen grows on bare rocks due to moisture. Then comes moss stage. Then comes annual grass stage. Then perennial grass stage. Then shrub stage, which breaks the rock and make it the soil. And then the soil is made from coarse to finer by climax community, and like that the best trees, right? So in water, in hydrogen, there is first this plankton stage, which are floating microplanes like organisms, which are in the zooplanktons. Then comes submerged stage, then comes floating stage, then red worm swamp reed swamp stage, which brings out soil sediments by their binding ability in the roots to bring some soil particles and mixing it with water, then making it a summer soil swamp. Then it slowly becomes more and more solidified soil by sedge or marshmallow stage. Then comes woodland stage, and then comes climax forest, because there is just soil, and soil it is more I mean solid soil, where big advanced plants can grip their roots. And then what is the importance of it? So first importance, uh, sequence of succession is mostly fixed, because a primary but stronger um, stage will dominate first, because it can survive in it, adapt in it. Then some middle stage will come, then only climax stage will come, where it is advanced but it needs some specific conditions to be fulfilled to survive, but it has high functionalities. So it is mostly constant. Then it tells us how many stages are there uh, to for the climax community, right? So that it can be seen which can be consumed, which stage can be consumed, which are in more number not consumed, like that. Information gained from balance session is just to have control growth. Whichever is growing more, we can control it. Then let give chance to other to grow, reduce its competition artificially. Why? So that superiors, the others, don't invade the forest and just ruin the population balance there. So we can make tanks protecting the area where the population is. It uses techniques for reforestation or afforestation after deforestation to again plant the trees. I'm talking a little different from this slides, because you can obviously read the slides, but what I'm saying, that is different information. So that's why I'm saying it. Different information. Right? So let's go ahead. Yeah, let's go. So ecology in Greek means study of home, because arcus means home, locus means study. So it's the branch of biology which deals with the interrelationship and their interactions, which I told you earlier, right? And so it was given by Ernst Haeckel in 1869. So there are also other terms which can be called for it: hexicology, ethology. So there are levels of hierarchy of ecological organization, right? So I can say that it is first as individual organism. It is the single organism, right? A single body which can do all through our life processes independently. Then there comes population grouping of similar individuals in the same geographical area or space at the same time. So different populations can be the same organism present in different geographical areas, right? I guess maybe like if there are some elephants in India, then there are elephants in Africa. There are obviously different populations, isn't it? So they're called local population or teams. Right. Then comes their community, biotech, a biological community. It is an assemblage. It is the group of populations of different species of plants, animals, bacteria, and fungi, or living stuff, right? Which live in a particular area and interact with each other through competition, predation, mutualism, etc. Like lichen and the lichen and in lichen, the algae and the fungi are giving mutual benefits to each other when provides it the chloroplast for photosynthesis food. Other gives it nutrients by nitrogen fixation from the air, which makes it easy for the plants to absorb the nutrients raw. So, so there is a predation, like there is a carnivore, it will eat the herbivore. Those are stuff there. So, and also there is predation and competition too. If the species are same, they will compete for the same food, right? If let's say there are hyena and the lion, so they will fight for the single day. Why? Because they both are the same traffic level in the food chain. They both are gonna eat. So hey, they both are gonna eat the same day. Why? So they're gonna compete, and there comes ecosystem. But the in community, the there should be similar type of environment, right? In ecosystem, there should be environment and living organism interacting with each other. There is a single type of environment which is like pond and stuff like that. A pond or a grassland or a single type of stuff like that. Okay, and there is also landscape, which is a single boundary uh, or a patch of a nature where there are living organisms and also uh, living organisms and also the water. Uh, abiotic stuff, environment, right? So there are biomes too, which are a large regional unit delimited by a specific climatic zone, which has a different climatic zone. Like tundra is very icy, very snowy, and the opposite to that are what do you say? Rainforest is totally hot and humid, so like that. And tundra is totally dry, so because of it's cold, right? So Southern Peninsula biome is a regional unit. I told that, right? Divided by climate zones, right? So biosphere is a biologically inhabited part of Earth. It is any part of Earth which is habitable, where someone is habitating, like with the physical environment consisting of atmosphere, land, and water, lithosphere, atmosphere, and hydrosphere, land, water, and air, and also there are living organisms coming out of here, which is biosphere. Right. So let's go. So there are. Let's talk about difference between weather and climate. Weather, the basic difference is weather is just a sudden change in the temperature in the environment and the atmosphere, but climate, in the other hand, is for stays for a long time. The temperature is the average temperature of the. It doesn't change much. It is similar there, right? So an environment also has regulatory factors, resources, and other stuff, and also there are four climates like tropical, which is just on plains, 0 degree latitude on the equator, where mean annual temperature is above 24 degrees Celsius. It is hot and humid, definitely. Winter is almost negligible, and the vegetation is tropical forests, like trees and greenery, total greenery. And subtropical is 0 to 22 40% latitude, which is in the Tropic of Cancer, I guess, near to that temperate zone, sort of like that place. So it is the mean temperature is 17 to 24 degrees Celsius. There is mild winter, which is subtropical deciduous, means almost thorny plains, somewhere, and then comes temperate forests, which is in the above the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn, right? So I don't remember after the Tropic of Cancer what comes, but I guess in that area, I don't clearly remember. Sorry for that. But there, the latitude is 42 to 60 degrees. Then annual temperature is 7 to 17 degrees Celsius. Winter with occasional snowing. So there are mixed coniferous forests, needle-shaped plants, mostly thorny and stuff like that. Arctic and Antarctic, which are poles, are at 60 to 80 degree. Means they are near the poles, right? So they're in the tundra zone. So they are below 7 degrees Celsius annual temperature, with severe prolonged winter with very much snow. There is Arctic vegetation, and there are very least amount of plants in there, but they are well adapted to it. And micro habitat is a part. It is a sort of like niche. It is a part of a habitat. Habitat is where environment where someone can live, and the microhabitat is part of the habitat, or it is a niche where a specific functionality can be performed due to that place's property. And microclimate means a local variation of the climate, means there is a small part of the place which is slightly different climate than the other. It can be considered climate, but it can be considered microclimate. Right. So let's go. There were biomes, there all this stuff. And yeah, let's talk about tundra. Tundra are north of timberline, 60 degree latitude, and the polar ice in the tundra is about it is around Asia, America, Europe, and those are called Arctic tundra. Tundra is absent in southern hemisphere. Yeah, because wait a second. Isn't Antarctica there? Antarctica, isn't it a tundra zone? Maybe. But the source I used for the information there, it is written that in Antarctic zone there is no tundra region, right? So let's go to the physical characteristics. So there is very little precipitation because it is very cold. There are glaciers and stuff. They're totally ice. So there is almost 25 centimeter per year rain. Mostly they are stored in the form of snow. And that is very important because it is the reservoir of water. If it melts down, it will just flood the whole earth down. Okay, so the area is mostly covered by snow. The climate is very cold, harsh winter. Temperatures of minus 30 to minus 40 degrees Celsius. Snowy winds, snowstorms are often occurring. The summer are very small with 45 to 75 days. Highest temperature in summer is 10 degrees. It is unable to melt snow. It can't melt snow in upper 10 to 20 centimeters. So it is permafrost, which means that place is permanently frozen, and it should stay like that, or else whole Earth will flood, definitely. So, alternate thawing and freezing of upper layers happens, cracks are produced. If you save a life, there both vegetation and animal life exists in this biome, but they are very least amount. Like there would be polar bears, some kind of seals, I guess, penguins, and all the stuff. Flora or plants are there. They're called Arctic desert because there can't be any trees in that cold. It is just block their roots or something. It can't take out water out of their roots. Um, Only those can grow which can survive in the brief summer. Their life cycle is very short. It would get complete in the summer itself, and or else it should be able to survive. It should be able to survive if there is snow for 8 to 10 months. They should be shallow rooted because they won't get oxygen because there is snow around, and also there is no water. There is only snow, right? So because subsoil, the below soil is totally frozen. Only the top part is little. It is a little less snowy. The bottom part is totally frozen. Mosses and lichens grow most in this area because it is totally untouched. But lichen are not much deep rooted; they're shallow rooted, so they can survive there, and they're very strong species to be fair. And common moss is bog moss, sphagnum, and lichen is cladonia reindeer moss. All plants growing in this tundra are grasses, small grasses, sedges, heaths, a few shrubs, dwarf willows, solid species, and birches, betula species. Here, these plants have xerophytic characters. Xerophytic characters means adaptation. Okay, adaptation to desert-like conditions, to dry conditions. They can survive with the water because they don't do transpiration and store most of their water, and they can absorb most water. Right. The leaves are often small and hairy to reduce surface area for transpiration. Margins show folding to give extra layers so that water gets trapped in it. Their fauna or animals like amphibians and reptiles are absent. They aren't there because they are poikilothermals because they can't adjust with the temperature changes in the surrounding. They can only survive in the tropical region because this temperature is moderate, and they can survive in moderate temperature because they can't change their body temperature. So their body temperature is going to remain the same as per the environment. So they are absent in tundra because they can adjust their because they can change the body temperature opposite to the environment. And the arthropods, they're biting flies and mosquitoes, only appearing in summer. Little, their common animals of tundra are mostly warm-blooded, means mammals, birds, because they're homeothermal because they can adjust with the environment. Whatever the temperature in the environment is, they can control their body temperature to remain the same. Right. So they have hairy skins acting as an insulator with fats so that the heat is trapped and the energy is not lost, making heat again and again. And they can also obviously they can use their energy to make heat. And birds have feathers for the same purpose. And they are thick layer of fat, and which is acts as insulation. Like snow owl are there, snow grouse are there, polar bear, Arctic hare, Arctic fox, muskox, Caribou, reindeer, octowolf, and rhesus are there. Water birds are present in there. There are some burrow animals which hibernate, which means they sleep the whole winter to reduce their metabolism and energy usage, and they eat only in summer. Eat totally fill the stomach and store it and save it. They don't use it. They sleep in and hibernate in the winter and store it, and so that energy gets saved and they don't need to go hunting again. So yeah, and they do hibernate like polar bear does hibernate. Others migrate in winter to less cold temperature areas like reindeer and caribou. So it is a fragile biome. As I said, they have very important glaciers, and if they are disturbed or melt, it is very tough to recover because that cold temperature, achieving it is very difficult, and it also attracts all the polluting gases to there, and it bears all the CFCs and all, which makes ozone hole and all. If the temperature won't be there, there won't be convection of hot air rising and cold air going down. There won't be ocean currents. Then our CFCs would make ozone holes here, not go to the poles and deposit there where no one lives, and just make ozone holes there to save us. And we would have gotten UV rays and issues from that. I think you know with what issues come with it. There are just mutations, diseases, and all that. Right. Tropical rainforests have uh, 200 to 350 centimeter rainfall. Dry months are very less, 2 to 3. Tropical deciduous, dry months 6 to 8, 90 to 160 centimeter rainfall. Temperate broadleaf forests are 100 to 250 centimeter, 3 to 5. Dry months, temperate needle-shaped coniferous forests, 6 to 15 degrees Celsius temperature. About 50 to 170 centimeter rainfall. Dry 3 to 5 months. Okay, temperate needle leaf or coniferous forests. These occur in South tundra across North America, Europe, Asia. They are also found in southern hemisphere, like parts of New Zealand. And 10% of land mass is in taiga region. And their physical characteristics are precipitation is variable. It can change, it can fluctuate. You don't know when it would rain or not. 10 to 35 centimeter in dry parts and over 100 centimeter in wetter parts. It can occur both rain as well as snow form. Lakes and marshes are common in wet parts because it is much drier region, so there forms marshes. Means there are soil particles, soil mixed with water, not heavy water places, right? Because it is a dry place due to cold snow, right? So marshes, bogs have common cotton grass, which is sphagnum. Winter are quite chilly and long dark nights, obviously because it is still devoid of sunlight, and it is in high latitude, so it is a colder place, so it would have more nights and it would be quite chilly. Not the what we eat chili, but chilly in the sense of cold, freezing cold. And average temperature doesn't exceed 6 degrees Celsius. Summer are good amount of give good amount of daylight for long hours, and average temperature is less than 20 degrees Celsius. A good amount of sunlight, so growing season is about 150 days, right? That's summer, because in summer most of it grows, right? And life is good, means there is diversity or variety or species amount is a little good there. There are flora or what you can say, plants are there with evergreen conifers which can tolerate a little fluctuation in temperature, light, and soil. Those are pine, fir, hemlock, spruce, juniper, yew, larch, deodar, or cedar, um, where the conditions are more favorable, dense soil, more favorable temperature. So coniferous forests are present more because there is a little light at least reaching the ground. Ground flora has herbs, ferns, mosses, and lichens, and also trees or shrubs are also there in humid conditions. Birch and maple are also found in some places. Vines and wildflowers are totally common, and for an animal there are a mouse, wolves, otters, beavers, deer, raven, rabbit, hare, squirrels, pumas, lynx, grouse, jay, and many species of insects. In winter, there are hibernating animals and migrating animals to warmer places, which has reindeer, caribou from tundra during winter. There are also type of coniferous forests like Himalayan coniferous forests, the evergreen because of their needle-shaped leaves, plants for which live for 2 to 7 years. Canopy of trees are cone-shaped, height of 30 to 35 meter or more because they're long trees to grab the sunlight, all which they can grab. Okay, the common type are Pinus wallaceiana, which is pine, Cedrus deodara, Cupressus, Torullosa, Cypress, Piscium, Smithiana, Spruce, and Abies pendro, Silver, and they're very economically, commercially valuable trees. Then there comes temperate deciduous forest. Location is found in northern hemisphere of Canada, eastern USA, north central Europe, eastern Asia, and in southern hemisphere too, like New Zealand and eastern Australia. The forest occurs in 18 million kilometers square of temperate areas. Their characteristics are they have better warm summers and okayish moderately cold winter, not very much freezing, chilly, and their annual precipitation is between 75 to 150 centimeter. Life, plants, and animals are rich in this forest. Flora is like plants are like oak, elm, maple, beech, um, hickory, magnolias, poplars, etc. They are broad-leaved hardwood darker trees, like modern trees, but a little wide leaf. Shrubs are also common here. Trees, but they shed their leaves so that they can live in the winter by reducing metabolism needed in the leaf due to photosynthesis and the respiration that can be reduced because that is most in the leaves, so they can shed it, and also they can reduce transpiration in the winter times, and they can grow new leaves in the summer when they can afford the metabolism and the transpiration, okay, like photosynthesis and all the stuff. And softwood trees are also there, and mostly are hardwood trees. They can reach they can reach 4-story forests, 30 to 40 meter. There, so vines are also found here. There are fauna too, like animal population like frogs, salamanders, turtles, snakes, lizards, rabbits, hares, squirrels, opossums, foxes, opossums, raccoons, thrushes, owls, sparrows, several songbirds, and many go hibernation or migration to warmer areas. Tropical rainforests, these are in Central America near Amazon. Also, there are tropical rainforests, right? Orinoco rivers, South America, Congo River basin of Africa, Malagasy Republic, and Southeast Asia, including India. In India, also there are Western Ghats, Assam, and Assam, and Andamans, which have tropical rainforests. Their physical characteristics are they are mostly equatorial near equator or subequatorial regions where rainfall and warmth are abundant. They are hot and humid. Rainfall is heavy, 140 centimeter per year, between 200. It is above it, so it is between 200 to 500 centimeter per year. Oh my god, that is so good. And it may be up to 1,000 centimeter. So rain occurs in major parts of the year. They are mostly evergreen. It is always raining, right? Most of the time it should rain. So humidity is good. Plant growth, obviously, if there is abundant water, the plant growth is gonna be luxuriant. The forest is thick and impenetrable. There is a very heavy amount of greenery present. The plant species are abundant. So there are the forest occupies 1/12 of the total land, but has most biodiversity, half of the flora and fauna in the world, because obviously there are water and temperature conditions are best, most abundant. So in so there are 200 species of trees in this area. 70 to 80% of insects are here. 80 to 85% of all birds are here. So standing crop is the highest because it has good amount of water and good amount of sunlight, both of the important things for plants. And where there is plants, there are animals. And so because they live on plants, right? So productivity is very high. More plants, more food. So 12,000 kilocalories per meter square per year. So it is more than any other temporary deciduous and all that. Life is means biodiversity is heavy in this area. Here, flora or plants show stratification. It means a group of a plant that is at a certain height, so that it can take a certain amount of sunlight. Then the left out is given to the below stratas. It is well defined layers upon the height of trees, tall trees, medium sized trees, small trees, bushes, herbs, etc. And so these are called stratas or stories. So the tropical rainforests are multi-storied and have many broad-leaved evergreen plants, because there is rain always, so these plants can sustain with their advanced functions. And minimum there are 5 stories with 50-meter tall emergent trees. Canopy is open, and little trees are there, and most of them are then called tall trees, which forms dense closed canopy 35 to 40 meters. Then there is an understory, intermediate layer of small trees, a shrub layer, ground layer of ferns, mosses, and herbs like grasses and stuff. Forest floor where it receives least amount of sunlight because other plants take more. So epiphytic growth is rich due to humidity. It has orchids, lichens, mosses, ferns, vines, lianas are heavy in this forest. Cauliflower formation is there. So about there are also leaves which drip water to for the below layer plants. Also, there are fauna. Each story or stratum has different faunas. Upper stories have birds, animals, and insects, which can live there or adapt there. Right, birds, insects, bats, monkeys, lemurs, trees, frogs, lizards, and adders. Ground fauna includes many snakes, lizards, deer, forest goat, antelope, tapir, elephant, leopard, jaguar, etc. In India, rainforests are dominated by Dipterocarpus and Hopea. There are other large-sized trees, Majua, Artocarpus, Cinnamomum, Diopyrus, Alstonia, Polyalthea, Tuna, Calophyllum, etc. So understood trees are Umbilica, Calicarpa, Cordia, Rania, etc. Palms and bamboos also occur, and the climbers epiphytes are abundant. Ground floor has ferns or shrubs, and all the trees that can live without sunlight because their reach is minimal sunlight. There is mostly shade in there because of dominant trees, right? So there is tropical deciduous forest too. There is a little climate, but it can be wet and maybe dry. It is warm, but it can be dry. Dry periods. Rainfall is 90 to 160 centimeter. Vegetation is broadleaf trees which shed their leaves during dry season. Example: Butea, Bombax, Shorea, Dalbergia, Diospyros, Melanoxylon, Tendu is said, I think, Bushania, Lanzan, Chironji, Acacia, Cataichu, Care, famous Sal, Shorea, Teak, Tectona, and Sandal, or mostly Chandan, Santalum forest. If India belongs to this category, so in northwestern parts they merge into thorn forest. Canopy height is 10 to 20 meters. It is mostly lush green with dense foliage and herbaceous layer in rainy season, but in dry seasons leaf falls and herbaceous layer dries up. Forest fires can occur because of heat. Combustion occurs. Many trees possess thick fire resistant bark. Soil is rich in nutrients due to seasonal leaf fall because they die and provide a nutrient to the soil and humify, gives slow humus, giving humification. Animal population is similar to evergreen tropical forests because here is also plants. And then comes chaparral Mediterranean scrub forest. A location is biome in Mediterranean area. In Mediterranean area, hence Mediterranean scrub forest, Pacific coast of North America, Chile, uh, South Africa, and South Australia. Now this Chile is country Chile. So here there are broad-leaved evergreen shrub forests of are thick-leaved small trees and shrubs, which usually contain resin but are resistant to fires. Area has bushfires frequently during dry summers. It receives humid air from nearby oceans, which keeps the temperature, which regulates the temperature to moderate temperature. Rainfall is only during the winter because it is very dry. When winter makes it cool, there is rainfall. Life is okayish. They are mostly adapted to droughts because it is dry and hot both. Flora and fauna. is there are both plants and animals which are adapted to drought, like uh, Ar- Arctostaphylos or Manzida, sage, Carnithus, Arenostema or Shima is oak, and eucalyptus in Australia. Australia animals are rabbits, rats, chipmunks, deer, snakes, lizards, and birds and tiger, etc. Tropical savanna. It is a grassland, right? There are only grasses still there. It is so that that's why lion is yellow, because grasses are yellow, almost they're dried up, so that they can harden it. Then it is a warm climate plain with coarse grasses and scattered shrubs and trees. Seasonal rain, mostly dry, but a little wet in few seasons in sometimes, and frequent forest fires. Height of wood species are 1 to 8 meters. Savanna occurs in North Australia, India, Central and Southern Africa, including East Central South Africa. They are natural as well as anthropogenic. Indian savannas are largely anthropogenic, being derived from tropical forests maintained by grazing as well as fire. Availability of soil moisture determines the composition and productivity, because there is abundant sunlight. The only limiting factor is water, as it is the only factor for photosynthesis and productivity. So if it is mostly reduced, it is the most less. So if it is increased, then it will the productivity increases, or it decreases, it is decreased, because sunlight is already abundant. And so root system of the grasses are present in up 30 centimeter of the soil, while woody species penetrate to deeper horizons in the finding of water. To find water, savanna are named after dominant trees like acacia, phoenix, and eclatus. Common trees and shrubs of Indian savanna are acacia beauty, prosopis, ziziphus, and caparis. Common grasses are Dichanthium, Decanthium, Schema, Sancris, Lazurus, Imperata, and Saccharum, which many of them perform TCA cycle C for photosynthesis that is helpful in maintaining high productivity, even under low soil moisture conditions. Even if it's dry, they should be adapting. Hoofed herbivores are present because the soil is very hot. It would burn the feet, so it is just like a protection layer of integument, like a nail. It's like a shoe. It forms like a shoe, right? Below the feet. Is quite common, like antelope, zebra, giraffe, goat, gazelle, then rhino, elephant, fox, wolf, lion, tiger, kangaroo in Australia. So there are grasslands, and grasses are dominant. They're coarse grasses, these are fine grasses. Okay, non-graminaceous herbs, mostly leguminous, which gives nitrogen, fertility, and proteins to soil. Scattered bushes are occasional trees, like prairies of USA, Canada, pampas of South America, steppes of Eurasia, tussocks of New Zealand, downs of Australia, and velds of South Africa. There is harsh summer, cold winter, seasonal 25 to 75 centimeter rainfall. Rainfall is short of farming forests and more than the amount that induces desert formation. So it is in the middle. The rainfall is middle, forest and desert. If it is not, it doesn't form desert. It is not that less, but also it is not that more that it can make forests. It cannot make both. It cannot sustain a forest, and it is okay for survival, not as bad as desert. Okay, grasses can be sought farmers or grow in bunches. Okay, height of grasses varies by finish on the middle is 1.5 meter in most regions. Shoot by mace is 50 to 1,000 grams per meter square. because there's not much water present for more productivity. It depends on rainfall. The previous one, the root system is extensive. Grazing and fire help maintain grassland and prevent woody species to invade the area. Because if any woody species enters there, the animals graze on it, and the heat makes it a fire. The woody plants, because woody trees, because wood is more prone to fire than the grass leaves, because grass leaves are a little moist than those, because they store water than those bark of trees. So those trees don't compete with the grass, so grasses are safe there. Okay. And the fauna or the animals, there are deer, elk, bison, wolf, prairie dog, bear, bighorn, sheep, rabbit, mace, and budgies, coyote, and burrowing owl. Then comes desert biome. It occupies about 1/5 of the land. It it is totally arid or dry. It lacks rain, less than 25 centimeter. Um, due to present, due to being present in rain shadow region, as I said, where mountains come behind it, there reaches no rain because clouds are blocked, so it becomes desert. There are also hot deserts like Sahara, Great Western US Desert, Gobi, Arabian and Thar of Asia. So those are real hot, true deserts at 15 to 35 degree latitude in Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. There are almost no rain, less than 25 centimeter. Rainfall is less than 12 centimeter per year, and in extreme desert it is even less than 7 centimeter per year. Whether it is hot or cold, evaporation from desert is 7 to 50 times the rainfall. Ground is sandy and rocky. That's why it is desert, because it cannot hold the water, because clay soil have lesser spaces and hold the water. Water doesn't percolate easily, so there are groundwater, but these are sandy, so they can't hold water. They have large grain size. They can't hold water. The water percolates easily, so groundwater is in very much underground. Vegetation is very less, because obviously no water, no plants, there are no animals. Also animals need water. So there are three types of plants: ephemerals, or short-lived annual herbs which grow during the period of sufficient moisture when the rainfall is happening; cacti and other succulent xerophytes. Succulent means they store water in the leaves or something, and so branches, stems or stuff, like euphorbia species which store water; deep rooted shrubs which can pull water from the deep soil; and small trees which are able to obtain water from the water table. Water table is groundwater, right? Like Prospis, Salvadora, Tamarix. Common grass is citrus. Shrubs include arula, echinops, tall succulents like cacti, arbanon, and deserts. Animals are like a kangaroo, desera, hare, fox, jackal, cat, rattlesnake, coral snake, lizards, gila monster, horned lizard, spiders, scorpions, locusts, ants, wasps, and many species. There are also altitudinal biomes like alpine tundra, which are present on mountains, right? So they can be found on heighted landforms like plateaus and mountains, due to their folds. They are devoid of snow caps, so without tundra vegetation, they mostly have temperate vegetation, taiga-like forests with pinus, cedrus, labis, taxus, specia, quercus, betula, asa, Acer, Rhododendron, Almus, Aeschylus. Right. They are mostly treeless. They are mostly above timberline, so they are mostly goat, yak, wolves, snow leopard, snow bear, rabbit, mountain goat, willow, grouse, and some migratory birds. Because they are mostly slopey, so they are well drained, with little peat or bog, and more herbaceous flowering plants and dwarf trees, so they are different from Arctic tundra. There are environmental factors which makes biotic factors survive, which major abiotic factors are temperature. Temperature can be adjusted according to the places, like tropical, who adjust tropical environment are megatherms, subtropical are mesotherms, temperate are microtherms, and arctic are hekistotherms. There are euthermal organisms which tolerate a wide range of temperature variations because they are homeothermal, maybe they can do homeostasis, maybe because they can maintain the body temperature in spite of the environment temperatures. And there are also stenothermal organisms which can only adjust narrow range of temperature due to their fat, due to their hair, or like polar bears, or due to their poikilothermal qualities, like they cannot adjust the temperature outside. They cannot change their body temperature to maintain it the same. So there are also adaptations like to reduce transpiration in plants, to retain water, like tannins, hair, thick covering, mucilage, high solute content, thick leaves, isolate content gives them osmosis property, right? And also there is Glogger's rule, because they have mostly pigmentations. Uh, like yellow, brown to red in arid climates, and black in hot and humid areas because of melatonin pigment, melanin pigment. Sorry, melatonin is sleep hormone, I think. Sorry for that. And melanin pigment, which gives you black color, which saves you from the UV radiation, I guess. It is clock rule. Then uh, cold area animals are of larger size due to Bergman's rule, so that they can produce more energy, they can make more heat in the process of digestion in the huge body, so they can trap heat too. And extremities of mammals are very longer in colder regions, like ears, snout, tail, legs, because so that heat doesn't escape from here, because these are the only pointed areas where the heat escapes, so they get trapped there. Allen's rules: birds have narrow wings in colder areas. Ranch rules, obviously due to the same reason, so that heat gets trapped. And fish of colder areas have more vertebrae. Jordan's rules, obviously to for the thick layering to trap the heat. Effects of temperature are as follows: growth, because growth increases with temperature in the optimum temperature, because enzymes are most active in the optimum temperature. Metabolism, same, enzymes are influenced by temperature and pH, right? So like chirping of crickets are louder in summer than in other times, right? And reproduction, maturation of gonads, and formation of gametes are controlled by temperature. And also some reproduction which produces younger ones, their gender is decided by the temperature, like in some turtles, right? So it decides the gender ratio in the population. distribution. Organisms are adapted to live at a particular temperature, like ice fish in cold water, corals in warm water. Coloration animals have a darker skin in warm and humid area, lighter skin in cold area. The same as Glogger rule. Behavior: ticks and many snakes, pit viper locate their warm blooded prey by body heat emitted by them, by infra. What to say? Uh, they have those snakes have Jacobson's organ. I don't remember that, but it senses heat. Uh, it makes their infrared images or something like that. Thermal images. Uh, it finds them by heat signatures. I don't remember it exactly. Sorry for that, but it just finds their heat signatures and attacks a predator. I mean prey, and eat them. Behavior, yeah, you got it. Morphology: in colder areas, animal size is generally big because while their extremities are small. And homeostasis, I told you that they use homeostasis to control the heat of the body. Water. Water is also necessary. Let's just skip those. Uh, it also okay. Light is needed for growth, photosynthesis, transpiration, germination, pigmentation, and also movements. Some plants have what do you say? They have that auxin hormone which is accumulated when light is there, making it phototropism. It means growing in the direction of light. There is daily rhythm in animals: nocturnal, which active during night, diurnal, active during daytime, auroral, active at dawn or early morning, and vesperal, active during time of dusk or sunset, crepuscular, active during dawn and dusk. Means during sunrise and sunset both. Photoperiodism also is there. Bird migration: leaf fall and dormancy. Dormancy means a resting period of a plant, a seed, stopping itself from growing. Hibernation: vegetative growth and all that. Light zone is also there in water. Also, it is present. Littoral zone, photic zone. Above first one is littoral zone. Then comes a shallow coastal region. Then comes photic zone. Then comes limnatic zone, which is of three parts, which is photic zone, which is upper layer. Little sunlight reaches there. Euphotic zone, photic or euphotic zone, it is called. Then deeper in it is profundal or aphotic zone. Then comes benthic zone. Benthic zone is totally dark. There is no light going there, so only very few plant species survive there in water. So there are soil. Soil is formed by weathering of rocks, breaking of rocks due to water, air, heat, and all that stuff. So there is formation of humus by dead and decaying organisms, giving it nutrients, and also there is elevation or erosion of soil due to water, and illuviation, deposition of soil layers, and all the stuff. Soil profile: there is in soil profile there are many layers like O horizon where all the plants grow. There then deeper in it is A horizon or topsoil where most of the nutrients are there. B horizon, which is mostly coarse. C horizon, which has many rocks, and unbroken unweathered parent rock bed is at the bottom. So in as per soil composition, mineral matter is 40%, organic matter is 10%, soil moisture is 25%, the atmosphere is 25%. Soil organisms are variable, so top layer has more organic matter, and bottom layer has more mineral matter, I guess. And the weathering is also very weathering rock. There are also soil properties which are very important: percolation property, porosity in the soil, the amount of gaps in the soil particles, like clay soil, loamy soil, and sandy soil, water holding capacity, right? So there is also other properties like soil porosity, soil air, soil pH, soil moisture, or soil water holding capacity. Then there are situations where animal adjust with the environment, which is adaptation. There are also types of it, like regulators, which regulate their body temperature, uh, opposite to the means whatever be the external temperature, they can maintain the same internal temperature. Conformation or ectotherms can't adjust their body temperature according to their environment. So there are also thermoconformers or osmoconformers, which do osmosis and regulate their temperature. What? Oh no. Okay. There are also migration, that they migrate to better favorable areas. There is suspend, means they just go dormant or stop or rest for a few period. Diapause is just a suspended development because they reduce their development and growth. They take rest and save their energy. Adaptation is, there are genotypic adaptations and phenotypic adaptations. There are many type of adaptations. And zero fight or no water and heat plants have ephemerals or drought escaper plants. They only grow in the rains, short time of rain. Annuals or drought evaders, they live for a few weeks. Even after the rain stops, then they die, I think. Succulents or drought resistance, they can survive in the rain by their thick mucilage, water storage, and change of leaves structure to pin leaves, needle like leaves, and storing water in the branch and stem. Also, there are plant adaptation in aquatic environments, which are hydrophytes, by mucilage, roots. Mucilage protects them from pathogens and animals. Roots, they are absent so that their roots don't rot in, because they are already in water. They have mechanical tissue. They don't have mechanical tissue, so that they are not much stiff, and they can flow with the water, not break opposing the water. Okay, and there are xylem, which are almost absent or poorly developed because they don't want to waste energy for a thing that is not useful in for them. And xylem is not useful for them because they are in water, so there is no need of water transpiration in them. Parenchyma makes them float, or they are parenchyma with air spaces in them where air is filled. There are also inflated organs to keep them submerged and all the stuff. There are so animal adaptations are migration or changing places when when the situation is not favorable. Camouflage, hiding, cryptic appearance, hiding in the background and getting unnoticed by predators. Mimicry, mimicking a threat to the predator to scare the predator away by the prey. Means, have you heard there is a butterfly which there is a bad taste butterfly, and there is a tasty butterfly, monarch butterfly, I think so, I don't remember it. So they copy them, they try to look like them so that the predators get confused and don't prefer to eat the other one. I think so, it is like that, I don't remember it. Yeah, viceroy butterfly. And mimics the toxic monarch butterfly, which are very dangerous to eat for their predators. And same goes for uh, queen butterfly and monarch butterfly. Malarian benefits, I think so, maybe. So there is echolocation. They can find. There are also warning coloration, like dart frogs have colorations to. They are highly poisonous and brightly colored to get easily noticed, so that predators are do know that they are dangerous, so they avoid them. Echolocation, they can throw sound and get the reflection of the sound and understand the how the uh, where the things are located, the stuff around. And in hibernation and estivation, they sleep in winter or summer. Hibernation means winter sleep, estivation means summer sleep. Eating up the other season and storing the energy, saving the energy by sleeping, and stopping the metabolism in that time. Diaspause, which is suspension, suspend development in the period of stress, so that they don't use energy in metabolism. And uh, also there are adaptations for excessive which is called cold hardening, which is by Wrench rule. The narrowings, then vertebrate in fishes like Jordan rule, and larger size of animals in like Bergman rule, so that they can avoid cold with their thick protein, fat, and hairy layers, or undergo hibernation. So, and also there is a water scarcity adaptation, like in desert they show two types of adaptation. They reduce their water loss so that they can tolerate the arid conditions. Kangaroo or desert rat now rarely drinks water, but it has a thick coat of on the skin, so that it doesn't evaporate. The water doesn't evaporate from their body. They rarely come out. They hide in the burrows, so that they can maintain their water levels and reduce water loss, and come out only if it is cold, humid, and cool. During So they meet the 90% of their water requirement is met from their metabolic water. um, when they produce water from breakdown of the fats, and 10% is from the food. Loss of water is minimized by producing almost solid urine and feces. Camel has a number of adjustment for desert condition. It has uh, uh, it has good water consumption. It has less surface exposure, tolerance to temperature. No, it doesn't sweat till body temperature rises about near to 55 to 66 degrees Celsius. Blood stream moisture is maintenance is there. It can tolerate up to 40% dehydration. It produces dry feces and concentrated urine. When there is no water, the animal stores urea and does not produce urine. And when water is available, camel can rehydrate itself quickly by drinking large quantity of water at once, uh, almost 80 liters in 10 minutes. And there are behavioral adaptations of desert lizards. They uh, they have they to keep their body temperature constant. They do some activities or actions that keep their body temperature constant. They enjoy in the sun and absorb the heat. When the body temperature drops below the comfort zone, then go to shade. When temperature starts increasing, some species can make burrow in soil to hide in from heat. Physiological and phenotypic adaptations are also there. Uh, so now we go to a population. Population is the Total amount of number of interbreeding individuals or species found in a geographical area will share and compete for similar resources. Then uh, there are the important characteristics here are birth rate and death rate, immigration, all the stuff. And also there is gender ratio, age distribution. When it is expanding population, there is more pre-productive stage, normal reproductive stage, and post-productive stage or senescent period is population is less. In stable population, all are almost equal, and in declining population, there is much more reproductive phase people, and pre-productive phase people are less, and post-productive people are almost mostly less. So first one is triangular age pyramid. So it is an increasing population. Then is bell-shaped age pyramid, which is stable population. Then comes urn-shaped age pyramid, which is declining population. Then comes population size, which is decided by natality, mortality, carrying capacity of environment, and competition from other species. So population densities also comes in the place. Population growth, D is equal to number of individuals by space. It is decided by natality, mortality, birth, death, and immigration. And immigration mm, coming in and going comes from a location. Hence, final population is equal to initial population plus birth plus 1 minus death. Birth plus immigration uh, minus death and emigration combined, because death and emigration both are of similar characteristic, they reduce population, and birth and immigration both are of similar characteristic, increasing the population. So that's why this is subtracted from that. And also there are growth models, exponential growth model, where birth minus death equal to a reproductive rate, uh, uh, and dn by dt is equal to rn, intrinsic rate of natural increase. Because here there in this it is not considered, the competition resource problem is not considered. It is thought that unlimited resources and are there, and there can be unlimited exponential reproduction. So that is considered. That's why there is exponential graph. And when nt equal to n naught means final population equal to initial population into e raised to rt. Okay. And in sigmoid graph or logistic growth, it is considered that there is a carrying capacity k, means a place has limited resources and it can carry a certain amount of organisms and can't handle more than it, which has Warhol's per logistic growth. dn by dt equal to rn into whole bracket k minus n by k. Okay, so it has sigmoid graph. There are population interactions like predation, where both predation, one is benefited, the predator is benefited, prey is harmed. And there is parasitism, where there is wait a second, let me see. Yeah, in competition, in predation, one is predator is benefited, eating the prey. So eating the prey, so the prey is in harm. And in parasitism, the parasite eats the nutrition from the host again and again, not at once, and it doesn't kill the host in instant. It slowly kills the host, and it also additionally takes shelter in the host body. So host is in the disadvantage, giving advantage to the uh, what do we say, the parasite. So there is also a mensualism, but parasite also have some types: ectoparasite and endoparasite, outside the body or inside of the body, temporary and permanent parasite, uh, if they live for always or they live for some time. Holoparasite, which depend on host for all requirements. Hemiparasite are they can produce something. They are semi-parasite. They can produce a part of nourishment for themselves, and the rest is given by host. Stem and root parasites are also there. Pathogenic and non-pathogenic means disease and non-disease parasites are there. Hyperparasites are there. These parasites live on another parasite. There are intercellular parasites. They live in the cells of humans, like liver cells in mosquito malaria parasite. Plasmodium vivax, I think. There are brood parasites in birds. Brood parasite are okay. They lay egg in another bird nest and kick their eggs away, and the other bird's mother cares for the other bird's eggs or children. So that's it. So amensalism, in this interaction, it inhibits the growth of other, but there is a problem to one, but there is no benefit to the other. No benefit or no loss to the other, but harm to the second one. In commensalism, one is benefited while other is neither benefited nor harmed. Like there are suckerfish on shark eating the microbes around it, or the bugs around it, the small particles around it. So shark isn't affected, but suckerfish are getting benefits like that. So there are also there is hermit crab too, where hermit crab gets shelter, but the crab gets shelter, but it is sort of mutualism, but still it is type of protocol cooperation. Means there are both are mutually benefited, but they are not dependent on each other. They can live separately. They don't have any problem to separate, but are mutually benefiting. Like there are red-billed oxpecker and yellow-billed oxpecker, which uh, eat the bugs on the black rhinoceros, giving the rhinoceros relief, but also it gets its food. Mutualism or symbiosis is where both partners are needed for each other. They are very much important to each other. They can't live without each other, but they also interact between them, mutually benefiting each other. Like lichen, because it the the fungi gives it nitrogen fixation, and the uh, algae gives it nutrition by the chlorophyll photosynthesis stuff. There is competition where both the parties are getting in trouble because they are competing each other, fighting each other for their resources, harming each other. No one is benefited. Both get hurt. So this shows that I made the program in code in R programming. So here you can see its benefits, right? I guess. Some unique features of R programming. Functions are used for this program. Population matrix. So what is what happens? What are the reproductive problems? Reproduction is necessary for continuity of the species, to give rise to a new life,
It is important for variation in species, the genetic diversity, biodiversity, and and also to maintain the population. It is also needed to reduce or increase the population, balance the number of senescent organisms, the juvenile organisms, and the mature organisms, reproductively mature organisms. So, there are reproductive health issues also, like overpopulation, early marriages. About it is, I think it is about India. So, health of mothers, because early marriage leads to several diseases in mothers, uh, and deformities. Deformities are common due to early marriages. Maternal mortality rate and infant mortality rate are highly problematic in early marriage, because they are not fully matured, their body is not developed to handle all those uh, uh, pain, trauma, and all the stuff. And STDs are also there, because early marriages, children don't have a proper knowledge of the organs, hence STDs are common. Career, early marriages blocks the career of the uh, couple. Strategies there, you can apply family planning, which was invented in 1951. Awareness about reproduction in audiovisual, print media, and ex education in school should be introduced. Knowledge, knowledge of growth and knowledge of growth of reproductive organs and studies should be proper, like hygiene and adolescence knowledge and organ knowledge should be there to maintain a healthy reproductive life, and also to know they should know the best practices in it. Birth control devices and the care of mother and child should be proper. uh, should know Fertile couple should know about birth control devices, care of mothers, prenatal, postnatal care. I mean, when after conceiving, before conceiving the child, they should know how to take care. Importance of feeding the child, the newborn child, uh, from mother. Importance of male and female child both as equal. uh, Prevention of abuse, and information about reproductive problems. Medical facilities should be there, research should be happening in this area. Amniocentesis, okay, it is a disorder test but can be used in a wrong way to determine the gender of the child. Identifying the gender of the child is not an issue, but when feticides are done due to that, that is the problematic part. uh, Amniotic fluid contains the cells of the skin or the fetus and other sources, so it is used to determine what gender it is. Because of it, some enzymatic abnormalities, if it is there, so it can be determined if it has some congenital issues which can give trouble to the child for his whole life, so that it can get aborted to avoid that trouble or around his life after coming to the earth. So uh, population is defined as the number of individuals of a species in a particular area at a time. A study of this population is demography. It studies growth or decline of the population, composition and distribution of the population in the space, which is population density distribution. And but nowadays there are so much rapid increase of population, it is turning to population explosion. So for high population, why what is the reason of the high population? So education spread, so people are now being educated about the diseases, control of disease, various communicable disease are in control. Agriculture advancement has taken place. Farmers are educated to develop HYVs or high yielding crops, high yielding variety crops. Storage facilities means high yielding variety crops means genetically modified to give high produce by the crops. Storage facilities, good quantity of grains can be stored easily now and for a longer time, so it can be preserved, well preserved. So reducing wastage and giving plenty of resource. Better transport, this protects from famines, so that food can reach the right people, not keeping them starving. uh, Protection of from natural calamities, it decreases mortality rate. Government efforts for maximum information to give maximum information to the farmers. What happens due to overpopulation, poverty, because income gets less, so naturally it becomes poor. Because there are more people to feed than the income source, so food supply, if population increases, so
Food supply wouldn't be enough for so many people if the population increases, which with reduction of space due to population occupying the space, the hygienic condition will be bad because they would be struggling and fighting for the space. Hygiene would be ignored. Unemployment, more number of people are there, then the jobs are not enough to feed enough men, so many would be unemployed. If they take place, if population takes space, then space won't be enough to build houses for many population. Pollution is an effect due to population giving out the waste. Also, government won't be able to educate so many people, so arising educational problem. Population control can be done by education, awareness about why you should produce less child, what are the good things about it. Marriageable age should be increased so that there are less time for childbirth. Incentives should be increased for couples with less child to promote less childbirth. Family planning should be better by birth control measures. Population growth rate is determined by fertility, natality or birth rate, mortality or death rate, crude death rate. Immigration or people coming in a country, coming in a location, emigration going out of a location. There are also structural, these were numerical attributes, there are called structural attributes too, like age and gender ratios that tell how the population will grow further. There are also birth control measures which avoids to have unwanted child when not planned for it, when you not plan to conceive. So it is necessary for that time. Temporary methods, they don't have permanent effect, they are used for some time to prevent a child for some time. Natural method like periodic abstinence or absence something is avoiding it for a certain period of time as per rhythm. Then coitus interruptus, which means withdrawing. Then comes lactational amenorrhea method, which means there is no menstruation cycle so there is no ovulation when there is lactation. So after the childbirth till 6 months. Then there are barrier methods. In these, they don't meet due to the gametes don't meet due to certain barriers like C DOMs, and then diaphragms, skull caps, and vaults. Uh, these are actually the ones which don't have side effect, are mostly effective, at least save you from STDs, and they are not much, they don't have much side effect to give you permanent damage or something like that. There are also chemical methods like spermicides, which kills the male gametes, uh, like dolphin. There are also IUDs like CU7 multiload 375, which are hormone releasing. Some are medicated and some are non-medicated. So they act as minor irritant so that female gamete doesn't move ahead in the tube. And they also but they just block the male gamete to reach the female gamete, like that. They make the area more acidic to male gamete to survive. But there are some problems in IUDs. Risk of perforation of the organ, risk of infection, conceiving problems when implantation of embryo in the tube, and also they can cause excess pain while bleeding. They can they can have expulsion without knowledge. They may be irritant, so that the female gamete moves down very much. But there are also oral pills which inhibits the female gamete production, or let's say release of female gametes. Then they inhibits the motility or secretory activities of tubes, so that they don't move the female gamete or don't secrete the chemicals for necessary for the process. They make changes to mucus so that the male gamete can't pass through it. They make it very thick so there is no passageway for the male gamete. It blocks it.
or endometrium is made highly unsuitable for implantation of the zygote. There are mini pills, combined pills. So yeah, uh, but they are not that good. They are not recommended for blood clotting disorder people, cerebral blood vessel damage people, hypertension, liver malfunction. They have heart disease or cancer of feeding organs and reproductive systems. So they can have these problems later on. They give side effect. There are also implants, norplant beneath the skin, which inhibits some hormones. It is it needs surgical procedure for removal. It is okay, safe, but they are long lasting, almost 5 years, and they would give trouble in uh, menstruation and depo-provera are hormone injections. These are progesterone derivative injections which are given in three once in 3 months, which releases hormones slowly and prevents the female gamete release. They are convenient with no much side effect, but it can be highly painful when menstruating, heavy menstruation. And morning after emergency pills are when if it is when prevention when the cure when you have to cure, but it is always said prevention is better than cure, but you haven't done prevention, so now you have to run for the cure. It is that situation that you have done the means you are ready to conceive now, you have done everything, but now there is no but it is recent, so uh, within 72 hours, so these pills can be taken, emergency pills, to at least try to save the situation, because it has a high dose of control pills which suppress the female gamete release. These are for emergency usage only. uh, if there are some highly problematic stuff there, like uh, when other control measures fail by any problems or any abuse has taken place, then these are used. They are very much effective in first 24 hours, but can be taken in 72 hours to save. The side effects are little bad, like irregulation, menstrual irregulation, breakthrough menstruation, vomiting, and organ problems and all that. So can't use regularly. There are also permanent sterilization methods, surgical methods, that is cutting the vas friends or cutting the tube, vasectomy and tubectomy, right? So those are taken place, and there are also MTPs, but you
can't do that easily in first trimester. One doctor permission is needed. That you it is very, because it is a question about growing life. So if you want to abort it, then uh, the reason should be very much important, because it should be if it should be a mistake that if it comes out, it's very much problem for uh, that child, or the or its house. So it should be, the problem should be so genuine that um, it can be justified, that it should be justified. Then in first 12 weeks it is little safe to bought, but then after that it is risky for both of them. So that's why uh, in first trimester one doctor permission is needed. For second trimester two doctor permission is needed, and in third trimester in very severe cases three doctor permission is needed to do that. Then there is infertility 2, which reduces the population. Failure in conceiving. Primary infertility means it has already conceived, but conceived once, but again it can't conceive. Secondary infertility means there is sorry primary means he has never conceived any child, and in secondary infertility it has previously conceived child, but now it can't. So there are infertility in males. These are cryptochordism. It is not descending of the male reproductive organ into sac. Also uh, bad drinking stuff is also causes defective formation of male gametes. Thyroid dysfunction is also there. Imp and C also leads to infertility, as male reproductive organ uh, doesn't uh, function that properly to conceive, to meet the gametes. And also there is gonadotrophin deficiency, LH and FSH, which matures the gametes. There is also antihypertensive and antipsychotic drugs used for long time makes them infertile. Immotile cilia. Uh, when male gamete uh, is unable to move in female organ, so that also gives him infertility. Y chromosome deletion, obviously Y chromosome decides the gender of the organism. And absence or blockage of the vas duct. Infection like mumps infection of vesicle and prostate also gives infertility, because it provides nutrition to the male gametes, right? And gives it liquid medium too sometimes. Most common variety of anti male gamete antibody are IgG, IgM, IgA. So these may be present in mucus of the female organ. And failure to deposit the male gamete is also an issue. And temperature of the sac is also necessary for production of the male gametes, which problem is called varicocele. Androgen deficiency hormone deficiency is also a problem, which is male menopause in older age of men.
Low fructose content is also a problem. High prostaglandin also is a problem in the fluid liquid medium of the male gamete, because it gives nutrition to male gamete, so nutrition is reduced. And also vasectomy, which is the permanent sterilization or cutting of the the, the duct, vas duct, right? So now let's talk about the infertility in females, so which is anovulation, which is no release of female gamete, no release of female gamete, because there is no corpus luteum formation, which eventually forms the female gamete. So there is also luteal phase defect or LPD due to uh, some medicine induced uh, release of a female gamete, which decreases the FSH and LH levels, which are the gamete maturing hormones, growing hormones, gamete growing hormones. And also there is a defective growth of organs. Also there are organ factor, which includes uh, unfavorable endometrium, which is the implantation place of the zygote, chronic endometritis, fibroid organ of the female. And also there are organs factors, which have uh, factors which make male gamete ineffective to move, which are which have antibodies that harm the male gametes. Fimbrae are present in tubes, which don't move the female gamete better, so it can't reach the male gamete and they can't meet. So that also creates an issue. And also there is this dyspareunia, or what I can say, how I can say it in a less weird way. Uh, Pain in the process of this thing, and also increased eating or phagocytosis of male gamete by macrophages. Uh, ferti- uh, okay, making of zygote by meeting of the both the gametes, or implantation of those zygote. In both these processes, if there is a failure, it happens ectopic conceiving, or or miscarriage, or there is a tubectomy or tube cut, so that can also lead to infertility. Or also bad timing can be a problem of infertility. So these are the code I written, right? There is also image version of the code I would show you later, but there are also treatment that can be done for this, right? Let me show you. First let me show you the output. Here comes another one, and it should come. Okay, so there are 5 ways. First is test tube baby. uh, Second one is artificial insem technique. Gamete intra tube transfer. uh, Try to understand, please.
Sorry for censoring the words, maybe. Intracyto intracyto male gamete injection and surrogacy. So also you can by check fetal diseases problems in early stage by amniocentesis, chronic villi sampling, non-invasive techniques like ultrasound imaging and fetoscopy. Now let's focus on the main stuff of PPT. So here we go. So let's go. These are the stats. Some of the stats. And this is the Word document I had made. You can see this. Is population good or bad? Let's see this dual edge stuff. Let's go ahead. You can see this, I guess. And blah blah blah. All the stuff. Here is the content page. Here is this acknowledgement, terms used in it. I don't know what he has written. The striked words, I hadn't written it. I don't know how it came here. I wrote ecology. I think it misspelled it or something. I don't know, but I don't know why there are strike on words. Okay, right, here we go. Okay, I guess you get it, right? Here are key functions I used. I hope you can see. Now watch this algorithm. Right, now it's this algorithm, again another algorithm, another algorithm. This is the flow chart of age pyramid, flow chart of population density, flow chart of logistic population growth, flow chart, planning and time estimation. So this is system requirement systems I used, right, to make this system design, implementation. You can see this is testing. This is the code I written and used, right. This is an extra page and this is again code, right. This is result analysis. This is how the result came out to be. Let's go. This was the result and the conclusion and future scope. Now this is references.